I don't know where we come from, coming from the burbs in like nice neighborhoods, nice families. You grow up hearing like you have to go to college and that college
Hmm.
is everything. College is everything where we come from. Like it's not. It's like all my I would hear my mom talk to me about in high school was like
It's the whole point of like your first 18 years is just to
it's the whole point of your
do well enough to get
life.
into
Yeah.
college.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then high school becomes all of that. And it is treated as so much more important than it really is. Like I
Hmm.
remember so badly, I couldn't think of even going to a community college seemed ridiculous to me.
Oh
I was like,
yeah.
I have to get into a 4-year college. Looking back in retrospect, it's not
Right.
even that big of a deal. College isn't even as essential. Like it's just so blown out of proportion here. It's all, I don't know. It's kind of BS to me.
Oh yeah, definitely. I
Hmm.
mean, there was a point even in my high school where, I mean, there were parents and whatnot saying that, community college wasn't even like something that would be looked at like
Yeah, that like
fondly.
everyone's like embarrassed
Yeah.
to go.
And I was like, wow, I was like, that's someone still trying to better themselves and get the education that they
Right,
want. They're
right.
still
If
they're still
even if
gonna
you
do
just work
something.
after high
And
school, as long as you're doing something, as long as
right,
you're not
right,
just
Yeah.
taking bong rips at 11 a.m. till
right,
5 every day, like you're fine. Like,
right, right.
and a
And
lot of
so
people go to college and do that exact thing. And
right.
but everyone's like, it's all right. He's in college.
Yeah.
he's spending he's spending 50 grand to, do drugs all day.
Yeah, that's what when we were watching this the other night, I was watching with Carly and she's just like, well, why doesn't he just go to community college for a couple years? It's like,
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
an
Yeah.
obvious
It's the
answer to the
first
whole
it's
movie.
like the first like plot point. You could and, like you could just like, well, why not community college?
Yeah, it's easy fix for this whole dilemma right here. Is just go to community
Right.
college for a couple years.
Abandoned one, at least they clean it up, and then they like hire extras to like pretend to go to
Yeah.
the college when
Right.
when they drop him off there. And like it's just this whole scheme, which actually in a way is like it's a very similar to like a filmmaking thing. It's like a like building sets. It's just like, it's an act, it's a manipulation, that sort of thing. um so Bartleby would be a great director, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like they create like a piece of art that you can like interact with, like it's a fake college. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's an
yeah.
artistic
Pay,
experience.
pay tickets to go walk through, right?
Yeah, it's like the Van Gogh exhibit. Yeah, there's a great phone call with Bartleby's dad there too, where he's like, where do you want me to put the kegs?
Yeah.
Like, did you say something about kegs? She's like, no, eggs. Like, well, what are you
Yeah.
doing with eggs? I'm not paying you to make omelets. Or
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
paying for you to
Right.
go to school there
Yeah.
and make
Right.
omelets.
His mom's quote in that scene is even more my favorite because she's like, "Are you experimenting with
Yeah.
alcohol?" And I was like,
yeah.
"Oh wow!" It was like,
I found it strange how much the frat boys hung out with the dean. Like they're
Yes.
yeah,
always together with the dean. And like these freshman frat boys are a part of like the planning for this school and like what
right. Like
what they're
he
gonna
he
do.
made
Yeah.
the president of that frat like go buy all of these other places. like
Yeah.
like somehow this like 18-year-old student is able to go out and like
Right,
purchase on
right,
on, on
Yeah.
like the beneficiary of the college somehow.
right.
Like,
He like comes to South Harmon like wearing a suit, looking like such a douchebag. He's like, I'm here to Harmon's interested in buying this property.
Yeah.
yeah.
And Barnaby's like, oh, that's an important job, like being totally sarcastic. And he's like, actually, it is really important.
yeah.
Like he keeps calling him the wrong. He's like Hoyt Pambrose, but
Wait.
he's like Floyd Pambrose.
Yeah, right.
Floyd
Well,
Ambrose. Yeah.
he's like my name is Floyd Pambrose. Isn't that weird?
Oh yeah, that's
Try,
right. Yeah.
trying
Oh
to
yeah, yeah,
mess with
yeah,
his
yeah.
head.
He's
Oh,
like,
But then
he
weird.
says
but then
that
they
is
they
really
yeah, and
really
yeah, they
weird.
play Hoyt to be like very like gullible, and he's like, oh, that is yeah, that is
That
weird.
is weird, huh? That is funny.
Because like Hoyt cheated on her at that
Yeah,
party
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
that like
yeah.
Schrader was dressed up as the sperm at. And like that to me was like, oh well, like they're really trying to play Hoyt off as like this like evil frat
Oh, he's a
character.
douchebag.
Like a douche the
Right
whole time.
before right before he like starts, cheating on Monica, he's like on his laptop going like, "Have you ever heard of the South Harmon Institute of Technology?" And then he goes and just starts making out with her on the bed.
Super are you for buying this though, Mr.
Yeah,
Gates?
right.
That is true. Yeah.
How
Right,
long were
right.
you gonna let this go on if this didn't?
Right?
if
Was
this
he
guy
gonna
didn't
graduate? Was
come?
he gonna graduate and
Right.
everything?
Print out a diploma and everything, and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Have
Right.
he has another montage where he's doing the diploma logo.
Again, it's like the dun 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 as he's going through the diploma. Yeah, he's finishing up.
And so then literally it's like, all right, now we're all going home. Like it's just unanimously every kid is going back home with their parents. And then he turns to Hans, and they have a very real moment with Hans where he's like, "I'm sorry, man," and he's like, "It's all right, we tried." It's like and you're like, damn, it didn't work out.
And you never really like see Hans' parents, like they're just like in the background, like
Yeah,
very
but
upset.
they're just
like,
disappointed.
You just assume they're
that's-
the same as Barnaby's parents.
Yeah,
like,
they're
you're
just
like
like
they're like
so-
the same.
They're just furious, and they don't ever show Monica's parents because, well, Monica's parents think she goes to Harmon, so they don't show up.
Right.
But Monica's just like, none of this is real, and she just walks off, and she's like, "I'm done with this guy. I'm dating another idiot. I'm sick of idiots. One cheated on me, another started a fake college that I started going to."
Two, just someone creates their own community college because they can't even get a real college like in their midst.
Oh,
they have
fake
to
community
make
college.
a fake community college just to get into college. I was like, that'd be
Yeah, you got to go through the fake, like the 2 years of associates at the fake community college to get to
South Harmon.
The
In order to get to South Harmon, you have to make it through this fake community college that someone builds. But yeah, I mean, overall, the movie really like represents like a 2000s feel of like an early 2000s feel of like what all the boomer parents thought college should be versus what the younger like generation was thinking college was going to be like, and they just mixed it together in a way.
Yeah, for sure. And this will always be like a timeless movie for me for that purpose, because it just hones in on that college mentality and like just plays off of it really well for me, that I will always find it funny because I did grow up in a similar like absurd environment of like, you go to college, Luke.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You go to college, Brendan. You go to college.
Yep.
Yeah. It's definitely catered towards us suburban kids, and and our nuclear families and everything.
Family, yeah.
It's necessary, and
it's fun.
And thank you for coming, Brendan. You are a great guest because you clearly know you're accepted.
Hey,
man,
I appreciate it, man. I got to watch this movie an extra time, and the Cinebums are always on my favorite Spotify page, as you've seen when you're at my house.
Oh yeah, and we appreciate your dedicated listening as well.
Got